Oh god. Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video. Today we're going to be reviewing the first update of 2022, which is of course a mini update titled Red Alert. So I've already released the two super premium gameplays. If you haven't watched them already and you want to see what the characters are like and the costume for Homer's like, please do go check them out. They'll be pretty much uploaded on this channel somewhere. You'll find them. I mean, they'll be next to this video. And I've played through all the quest line, I've played through all the prize track, I've read everything, I've looked at every single item that you can get in this event, and I'm going to say this, in my spoiler video, I think I was a little bit too excited just at the prospect of getting a new event. For me anyway, the Christmas update I like the Christmas update, don't get me wrong, but I felt like it did. I feel this way like with most major events. They kind of feel like dragging, and I think with the whole Christmas season, I was just so glad to get a new event. But honestly, I was a bit too excited, a bit too fast with events. I do that sometimes. I don't think this one is that great, honestly. After playing through it, after kind of sensing a feel, there's a lot of things that I think are wrong with this event. And I think it's a bit of a crappy start to the year, not going to lie. So we're going to be going through all the different aspects today in this review. I'm going to look at the prize track, the characters, the returning store I'll briefly touch on, radioactive, I'll talk about obviously all the characters individually. I'll do a building and deco showcase for all the building and decorations. And then I'll have my overall thoughts right at the end of the video. So that's the structure. Let's get into it. The first thing we're going to talk about is the structure of this event, and that's the prize track, of course. So the structure is, of course, it's a mini update. It's nothing too, unique, really, to anything that we've got in the past. It's the same old stuff, really, the mini event structure. Weirdly, there is no tappables, which is a bit of a shame. I do hope that they haven't ditched tappables as a whole. Maybe that they're just not making an appearance in this event, and hopefully they make an appearance in the next event, because I do like the tappables. I think they are a really neat feature. So I hope that they don't give up on them too soon. I know that some people have been complaining, but I personally think that you can have like a nice balance. Just don't have it so the tappables, you don't have to tap the tappables in every single part of the act. Just have it so, like in part 2, you have to tap 15, and then in part 4, you have to tap 15, and then maybe in part 5, you have to tap 20. Do it something like that. I think that way it's easier. Now, the prize track, I want to say the structure of this is garbage. I despise the structure of this. It's just so wrong. The building we get, which is the Withstandinator, it's a building that you can buy multiple of, and honestly, it's so tiny and shit, and arguably it kind of could be a decoration. It looks a bit similar to the Charmers thing as well that we got with the Mecha Charmers, the Rigelian base, a little bit like that. But it's just like it's just so tiny. It doesn't look right to me. It's scaled wrong. I think it's kind of ugly, and arguably it's not really a building, is it? It's just a big bombshell, really. So arguably shouldn't even be a building. They start off the act with, of course, the General is the first prize. I think this is a mistake. I actually think it really works against the quest line. I think if you restructured the quest line just a little bit to include the General, you can have the General be involved in stuff. Just don't unlock him until the final prize. I think it works fine. You can have the General involved in the quest line and still unlock him as the final prize. I don't see what the problem with that is, really. Then you have 3 decorations, pretty much. You get the General, the first character, and the building, and then you're just going for 3 decorations after that. Homer's Bomb Shelter, I know like loads of people are like, oh yeah, this is really cool. Homer's Bomb Shelter is like the most crappiest decoration ever. I don't care for it whatsoever. It's just a box with an umbrella, okay? This is like, if this was just added in the store, thrown in the store for some cash, I'd be cool with it. I'd have no problem. But why does it have to like have a part in the prize track? It's just not significant enough, I don't think. So that's my opinion on that. The missile bunker, I kind of do like the missile bunker. I do think it's a pretty cool decoration. I'll give it that. And Springfield's sculpture garden, I think it also looks kind of cool too. But the sculpture garden, I think, was very badly tied in. And the missile bunker, I think, makes sense in terms of how they kind of worded the quest line. to be the final prize, but it still, to me, doesn't feel good enough being the final prize. I think it's yeah, I don't mind it as a decoration. I actually think it's probably my favorite decoration, the missile bunker. I quite like it, but yeah, to me, the whole structure of this event is just so wrong in so many ways. So yeah, that's my opinions on that. Let's talk about the returning store. So the returning store, I do actually think isn't too bad. There is some cool returning stuff, but it does feel like there's stuff missing. For example, Astronaut Homer or Deep Space Homer, whatever it's called, seeing as they brought back like the rocket and there's a lot of sort of Deep Space Homer stuff that they brought back, it feels really weird that they haven't brought back the Deep Space Homer outfit. Also, they brought back like a lot of superhero content, but then they forgot some stuff like Winlad and Solar Boy. Is it Solar Boy or whatever it's called? And there's a few villains that they haven't got. Like it feels weird. Like it feels like they've kind of like added like half of the stuff back, but not the rest. I am very glad they re-added the Rommelwood stuff. So that's, I know that the Rommelwood barracks, I think they're in the yearbook. Like it always felt weird because in my new town I have the barracks, but I don't actually have the Rommelwood Academy. So they added the Rommelwood Academy and the Rommelwood sign and the Eliminator decoration. So that's really cool, and Cadet Lisa as well. It was all thrown in the store though. I do really wish that they had like, I know that they don't always do mystery boxes for mini events, but it would be cool if they did like a mystery box. I think that could have benefited quite well. They had one in this event. So I don't believe they have one unless I've missed it, but I'm pretty sure they didn't have one because I didn't see it in my new town, but maybe I can't see anything on the wiki about it. So yeah, it would have been cool there as well, just to kind of round off the event a bit more. But yeah, the returning store is okay, I guess. I just feel like there's, like I said, some stuff missing. It feels weird when they don't like add everything from a certain category, and I feel like they should have just stuck with something, like stick with like military stuff or stick with space stuff, like space and military. It just feels weird. They've just like, the returning store is like such a mismatch of stuff. But yeah, it's not too bad. I don't hate the returning store. I think it's probably one of the decent aspects of this update. So there you have it. So let's talk about the new characters in this update. So to start with, we've got the General. Okay, so when this update, the spoilers came out, we had like an image of the General. It took us, the people on the wiki, and me included, we were like all trying to like figure out on the wiki Discord server who this guy was. So we were like, oh, which episode is he from? And then eventually they all found out that he's from the episode, what was it called? Hang on. The Paths of Glory episode, which felt really weird because one of the characters I thought it could be, like, and maybe like it was just kind of off, and it's mainly because they all look so generic, but I thought it could be the Commandant, the guy from the Rommelwood Academy, the guy who kind of runs that school. And honestly, I think it would have been better if it was that guy, like, because at least it would have tied in with the Rommelwood stuff that they've added into this update. So part of me kind of wishes that they actually, yeah, they added that guy, because he would have been a bit more of a significant character. The General just feels so thrown in. It's so weird. I don't understand why they've thrown this guy in. And this kind of comes back to something I said at the end of the video. It does feel like this event is just a massive mismatch of stuff from like loads of different episodes. I'm going to count how many episodes they've taken stuff from, but I'm pretty sure it's like each item. I think there's only like a few items that are from the same episode. It's so weird. But yeah, the General honestly should have been the Commandant or any other military. I mean, maybe not any other, but there's that guy from another episode. But I think the Commandant would have made sense. You could have tied in the quest line a little more with the Rommelwood Academy maybe, and I don't know. I just think this guy's kind of boring. Then we have Joe. Okay, I know that they don't explicitly say he is G.I. Joe in the episode, but it's pretty heavily implied that it's meant to be G.I. Joe, because it's like Barbie and G.I. Joe, you know, with Stacey Lavelle. So I wish they called him G.I. Joe, because no offense to anyone who's called Joe. Joe just sounds like, it sounds like such a I don't know, like, it doesn't describe this guy, I don't think. Joe is the wrong name. I think G.I. Joe, putting that G.I. in front would have been better. Okay, maybe that's a silly argument. But I actually like Joe, okay? Just sue me. I think he's okay. I don't think he's amazing. I don't think he's the best ever. I just think he's alright. I don't hate him. I think his animations are fine. They're nothing crazy. His quest line is a bit weird, but it's not too bad. It's fine. I think Joe is the best character in this event, or one of the best things in this event. I really like him. So sue me, alright? Sue me. But I think he's cool. Radioactive Homer. Where do I start with this one? So go watch my video if you want to see it. I really don't recommend you buy this whatsoever. It's a crappy costume overall. Honestly, I don't think they did enough with the animations. If you're going to have like a radioactive Homer, I think there's so many possibilities you could do with that. You could have him like transform into like this big giant Homer. You know, you could do something where he's like shooting lasers out his eyes, but they just go with like really generic, like he's running around the town, and then like I don't actually remember the other animation, I'm not gonna lie. They were like two pretty crappy animations, and honestly, all in all, I think this could have just been an animation for regular Homer. I don't think this necessarily really deserved to be a full-on costume. On top of that, what really annoys me is I think they could have just added the Hulk Homer. I know it probably wouldn't be called that, but the Hulk version of Homer where he's green and he's angry. And I think that would have made a better costume. But to put the cherry on top, the voice lines for this costume are from that Hulk Homer. So it's like, why don't I just add the pissing Hulk Homer then? Because that would have been a far superior costume. And you could have had some like really cool, animations with that. It's just really weird. It's not like they're going to get sued or anything. Like, EA works quite heavily with the Simpsons showrunners, who are owned by Fox, or hired by Fox, and Fox is owned by Disney, who also owns Marvel. So it's not even like they'd get sued or anything. Plus, it's parody anyway, so you get alright with parody law, even if they were two separate entities. So, I don't understand why they haven't just added the Hulk Homer. That would have made 10 times, way more sense as a costume. This costume, honestly, is crappy. Right, here's my building and decoration showcase. Okay, this first building, I kind of can't bundle it with the rest of the buildings because obviously it's a mountaintop building. Which one was this called again? I forget. It's got like a ridiculously long name or something. Let me just look. It's called the Sergeant Fugg's Mountaintop Command Post. Look, I like this building. I think it looks pretty damn cool. I think it integrates quite nicely with the mountains, and yeah, no, I think it's a really cool building, okay? I don't care. I know that Spring King doesn't agree, and not everyone agrees. I've seen a lot of people don't seem to be too keen on this building, but I actually really like it. I do think it looks really cool. I think the fact that you can't decorate it is actually a good thing as well, because to me, I don't like... So, I like buildings that you can easily decorate, and the best buildings to me, at least this is for me as a designer, the best buildings to me is ones where you have to do minimal or no work to, okay? It's easier on designing your town, it falls quite nicely in the mountains, it doesn't stick out like an eyesore, so I really like this building a lot, okay? Sue me, I like G.I. Joe, or Joe, and I like this building. I think they're a very good bundle, alright? Nothing amazing, nothing crazy. I just like this building. I don't think it's the best building ever, but it's a good building, for sure. And Joe is a good character. And here's the rest of the stuff. I've spoken about it mostly. So you have the Homer's bomb shelter thing there, as you can see in the left. I think it's, honestly, I don't know why people are going crazy about it. It's just a box. I don't care about it that much. I mean, it's cool they added it at least, sure, but... I honestly think taking a position in the prize track is just kind of odd to me. The Springfield Sculpture Garden, I think, is okay. It's a cool enough thing. You can integrate that quite nicely into like some sort of like little exhibit. Then you have the the Withstandinator. Like I said, you can tell just by looking at it there compared to the Sculpture Garden. It's so tiny and insignificant. It's just a crappy building all around. I really don't like it whatsoever. I was hoping it was going to be a lot bigger. But when I placed it, it's just tiny. And honestly, considering it's a bomb shelter, I kind of feel like it should be a decoration anyway. It's a kind of a crappy building, and considering it's the only free building as well, it's extra crappy. And then finally, we have the one decoration I don't mind that much, and that's the missile bunker. I think it's kind of cool. There's 3 different things. You can tap it and it's closed. You can tap it again and the little rocket's pointing out. And you tap it a 3rd time, the rocket shoots out and then the thing closes again. I actually like the fact that they have those different options for it. And I think it looks quite cool. So yeah, I quite like the missile bunker. Alright, I think it's an okay decoration. Everything else though is mediocre or crap. So honestly, doesn't fare well for this update, that's for sure. So, in conclusion, let's talk about it. So, obviously no tappables, that's a shame. Does feel like a lack of care in this update for sure. I do love the premise. I think going for like a military theme or like a doomsday theme could work quite well. But I just think they've really missed the mark on this one. I definitely think they could have done something better with maybe more focus on one episode or like a particular theme. I think if they go with the nuclear theme, I think that could work, but it felt like they were trying to tie in other things at the same time, which was a bit odd. I felt like it was all a bit too loose, really. The content was from like various different episodes. It just didn't feel right to me. It felt like they had like the right kind of umbrella premise of like doomsday / military, but then they picked the wrong stuff. Like I think like the Homer's, as much as I don't care for it that much, the Homer's bunker thing, I think that works quite well if you're going to go down like the radioactive like doomsday, and then obviously the missile works for that as well. But then like the sculpture garden and G.I. Joe and all that, it just doesn't feel right. And just to give you like an idea, here are all the episodes where they pull content from. Now, normally with a mini update, they'll pull content from one episode, and then they'll have like maybe the premium thing be from a separate episode, or they'll have like one item in the store be from a separate episode, or in some cases they'll base a mini event on 2 episodes. This event includes content from Paths of Glory, Lisa versus Malibu Stacy, that's Joe and the mountaintop thingy, Homer Goes to College, which is Radioactive Homer, Treehouse of Horror, VIII from the Doomsday segment, which obviously is the bomb shelter and the withstandinator, and also Gone Boy, which is the sculpture garden and the missile. So it feels like, and Paths of Glory is where the general's from. Like I said, it just feels like it's so much stuff that they've like tried to like mash together to make this update, and they've tried their best to like write this quest line to try to tie it together. But honestly, I think the quest line was kind of crappy. I think it was not that great either. Felt like it was trying its best just to tie all these aspects together. Yeah, just not an interesting quest line whatsoever, really. Honestly, this update is a bit of a shit start for the year for me. I'm not crazy about this update whatsoever. I think I was a little excited at first just looking at it. I think maybe just the prospect of getting a military update, or the prospect of getting like a sort of doomsday kind of almost like a Battle Royale-esque update kind of excited me. But yeah, the only things I really like from this is the missile, like I said, and Joe. I quite like Joe and the building he comes with. Everything else there was pretty standard or pretty crap, either or. Yeah, not crazy about this update whatsoever. Bad. Not really much more to say. Let me know your opinions. Do you like this update? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's mediocre? And I shall see you in the next video, where we will probably, I don't know what we'll be doing. We'll be doing something in the next video. Goodbye.